From geography to history, plants and animals, science, and so much more, this is Mike Butler, and welcome to This Day's Trivia from Bison Podcasts. Each episode, we dive into 5 unique trivia topics, all tied to today's date, and our trusty randomizer wheel will pick one of those topics for the episode. Get ready for 16 fast-paced trivia questions with just 5 seconds between each question. Perfect for testing your knowledge solo or with friends and family. At home or on your next road trip. So buckle up. It's time for this day's trivia. Today is October 7th. Get out your pen and paper to tally up your score. It's time for this day's trivia. Here we go. Topic number 1. On October 7th, the Great Flood of 1993 ends as the Mississippi River falls below flood stage. This massive flood affected huge swaths of the United States, covered 9 states and 400,000 square miles, and lasted, in some locations, for nearly 200 days. Topic number 2, born on this day in 1955 in Paris, France, well-known cellist Yo-Yo Ma, famous for his exceptional technique and distinctive tone. He made his Carnegie Hall debut at age 9. Topic number 3, October 7th is the World Day for Decent Work, launched by the International Trade Union Confederation in 2008. October 7th is a day on which people from over 100 countries gather for activities celebrating the achievements of trade unions and to honor the work of those who have made sacrifices for our democratic rights and freedoms. Topic number 4, died on this day in 1849, Edgar Allan Poe, famous poet, short story writer, critic, and editor known for writing tales about the darker aspects of life. His tales of horror are still legendary to this day, including The Raven and The Telltale Heart. Topic number 5, the Luna 3 Soviet spacecraft sends back to Earth the first images ever of the far side of the moon on this date, 1959. The dark side of the moon is a misnomer. That side of the moon gets plenty of light. However, we on Earth never see it. We don't see this far side of the moon because it is tidally locked to the Earth. The moon does rotate, but at the same speed that it rotates around the Earth. Therefore, the same side is always turned toward us. Here's a great analogy from pbs.org. Quote, much like a race car drifts when it turns on the curved portions of an oval racetrack, the moon does have a tendency to want to spin faster. Earth's gravitational pull holds it in place, unquote. Today's topic will be World Day for Decent Work, Trade Unions, and Labor Rights. Question number 1. What is the term for when workers stop working to protest unfair conditions? Answer: a strike. Question number 2. October 7th may be World Day for Decent Work, but what date is recognized by over 60 countries as Labor Day, sometimes referred to as International Workers' Day? Answer: May 1st, also known simply as May Day. Question number 3. Many in Europe on May 1st celebrate a very different May Day, an observance originating far before any Labor Day, celebrating the return of spring. At such a celebration, you will most likely find people dancing around what object? Answer: the maypole, which you decorate with streamers. This celebration never really caught on in the United States, as the Puritans of the early colonies considered May Day to be, quote, licentious and pagan. Question number 4, speaking of Labor Day and the United States, we over in the States celebrate Labor Day on a completely different day of the year. When is Labor Day in the United States? Answer: the first Monday in September. Question number 5. Interestingly enough, the origins of May Day as a day in support of workers and workers' rights are traced back to what event that happened in 1886 in the United States, one of the places around the world that does not celebrate Labor Day on May 1st. Answer: the Haymarket Riot in Chicago. Just a few years after the creation of May Day as Labor Day, bothered by the socialist origins of the holiday, President Grover Cleveland in the United States signed legislation to make Labor Day the first Monday of September instead. Question number 6. What is the name of an agreement between workers and employers to set fair working conditions, usually negotiated by a union? Answer: a collective bargaining agreement. Question number 7. On April 20th, 1914, a violent confrontation occurred between striking coal miners and the Colorado National Guard at a tent colony in Ludlow, Colorado, in the United States, resulting in 25 fatalities, including women and 11 children. What is this event in history commonly called? Answer: the Ludlow Massacre. I highly recommend visiting the site if you're in the United States. Question number 8. The Congress of South African Trade Unions was launched in 1985 and played an important role in the fight against what system of segregation in place at the time in South Africa? Answer: apartheid. Question number 9. What famous labor leader is known for organizing the United Farm Workers in the United States? Answer: Cesar Chavez. Question number 10. In which country in recent years did garment workers face unsafe working conditions, highlighted by the tragic Rana Plaza collapse in 2013? Answer: Bangladesh. The tragic event killed 1,134 people. Question number 11. In 2021, which online retailer faced criticism and protests for poor working conditions and attempts to prevent workers from unionizing? Answer: Amazon. Question number 12. What term refers to the practice of a range of tactics used to prevent employees from joining a union or to disrupt and weaken the power of existing trade unions? Answer: union busting. Question number 13. In 2019, a California judge ruling stated that the Tesla CEO and other company execs had been illegally sabotaging employee efforts to form a union. For the point, what is the name of this Tesla CEO? Answer: Elon Musk. Question number 14. What is the informal term for a person who refuses to strike or join a labor union, or who takes the job of a striking worker? Answer: a scab. It can also be a verb, as in the sentence, Joey scabbed on us and went back to work on Tuesday. Question number 15. What writer featured on the September 20th episode of this day's trivia wrote The Jungle, exposing harsh working conditions of the meatpacking industry in the early parts of the 20th century? Answer: Upton Sinclair. And 16, the tie-in round is here. For our final question, we tie in our last episode's theme, Buster Keaton, to this week's theme. Famous silent film star Buster Keaton started working alongside his family in vaudeville at the tender age of 3. However, Keaton's childhood probably would have looked very different here in the United States had he been born after 1938. In that year, what federal law was passed that finally took the issue of child labor seriously and also established a minimum wage and maximum hours allowable without overtime pay? Answer: the Fair Labor Standards Act. I hope this was an eye-opening episode, as this is an important topic worth paying attention to. I'll see you here again on October 9th. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you won't miss anything. How'd you do? Write into the podcast to tell us your score. Or if you have any suggestions, thisdaystrivia@gmail.com. That's thisdaystrivia@gmail.com. That's all we have for today, but make sure to tune in every Monday, Wednesday, Friday for new episodes and new topics. Interested in ad-free episodes, bonus content, transcripts, and my sources for deeper dives into the topics? Looking for archived material from my previous podcasts, Get the Word, and the English sessions? Go over to patreon.com/Bison Podcast Studios and give us just $1 single for all of it. Patreon.com/Bison Podcast Studios. That's patreon.com/Bison Podcast Studios. Until next time, this is Mike signing off.